I didn't have my Bluetooth off earlier, and I didn't have my Bluetooth off. I was half asleep, and I forgot to turn that off. Today, this morning, everything like that. Turn it down a little bit. But I was basically giving you, the wisdom on Wednesday. You know, those that just, start following and different things like that. Every now and then, you know, I start out like this, and then a thought of or a note or something might come across. You know, a little thought might come across. I have jotted down. I might flip, forget to say, what it is I need to say. But uh, you know, and I'm not going to deal with this topic. This is for the. I'm going to leave this, for the professional bloggers and amateur commentary, whatever their titles are. I'm gonna leave this part to them, but I'm going to let you know, like I tell people. That's what I was trying to say in the earlier 26 minutes. And I forgot because I was, the cats was cutting up. They were really cutting up this morning. But uh, I'm not ready to say. I forgot. I think. Did I forget that quick? Uh, okay. Yeah, you know, I told you around Halloween, maybe shortly before that, there was you probably. Matter of fact, I'm just going to say this word. I prophesied it, and I said I wasn't going to play with God, which I wasn't playing with God, but you know, despite what people feel or think, you know, about this chosen vessel, you know, I speak the truth, man. I'm transparent, and man upstairs talks to me daily. You know what I mean? He reveals things to me. A lot of these men that were around that did, you know, uh, uh, display, integrity and moral aptitude and ethic, ethics. You know, these men, instilled in me, along with, the Most High, you know, gift of discernment, and I dream a lot. I think a lot. My mind is always racing. I told somebody one day, matter of fact, it was my wife one day a few years back. I told her, I said, sometimes I feel like uh, my body's always tired, but my brain don't never sleep. You know what I mean? I told you all right before Halloween, trick or treat, that there was going to be a big thing long before the 117th, some money missing. And I ain't know nothing about it. You know, uh, I went to sleep last night. And, no, that's not what happened. My wife came in. My wife said something about uh, she had overheard something or seen something that there was some money missing. You might have been right. I said, well, I don't know. I'm not really trying to entertain them. I just want them to do right by me. You know what I mean? I'm not going to continue to drag them on stuff that these other people are talking about. That don't concern me. They ain't got nothing to do with me. My heart goes out to the victims. If the victims needed some assistance and I could have helped them, I would. But I'm not a credential holder in that institution. And there's so many rights I do and don't have, but I do have civil rights. But the thing about it, the money, whatever, missions, whatever, allegedly supposed to be some human trafficking involved. I don't know. That's alleged, but the money's missing $350,000. It's a lot of money. Missions supposed to be given to people, doing for people. There'd never be another missions man. There would never, in my personal opinion, there would never be a missions man. There will never be another missions man. There will never be another mission man like Bishop Moody. I don't give a heck what nobody say. And I never met Bishop Moody. But Bishop Moody was an honorable man. He held that position and he did a good job, in my personal opinion. And he produced a lot of good work that has continued to go on, you know, and everything like that. Okay. So basically I want to say, I gotta come back because this guy come back there to do something to be able to deliver this stuff. But matter of fact, I'll put you on. I'll just come back because I don't have time to be having a hold and and everything like that. Plus, I just wanted to come on and tell you that part, and then I wanted to say all the best are not drug addicts. All the best are not drug addicts. Gang, she's a lovely lady. Donna always treated me nice. Dave, Donna's husband, always was nice. When he was sick, I met him toward the end of his life. He was a nice man. I never made either one of their home celebration. But Donna, I love that woman dearly. She always made sure I had me a hot and ready. Every time I went to her house on the South End Columbus, she did. My father-in-law, every time he came to town, he came. But I wanted to touch on that too because I want to really deal with my brother-in-law. But my father-in-law was good to me. He was nice. A few times I was able to spend with him. Never seen anything, you know, out the ordinary. All I knew is, I think he still loved his ex-wife, first wife. That was, I think, Miss Sue was his first wife. I think he still loved that woman because every time he would come to town when he was living and I was around, him and her be linking up. So I don't know, happy with, how you feel about that, Clifford. You didn't like the fact that, your mom and dad, whatever that happened when y'all was kids, they ain't gonna do it. Nothing, man. You got to grow up, man, and quit being a goddamn kid. People dying around you, you stupid as hell, and you hung up over some shit. At least your baby brother and your sister had enough sense to go in there and do what they need to do with their dad before he closed his eye. And you sitting up there worshiping a man who's a veteran that beat the fuck out of your mama. That's the first part of words of wisdom I want to give you. So Mr. Clifford Eldon Vest, I don't know if he's a junior or the second or whatever he was. He was a nice man to me, and he respected me, and he gave me permission to marry his daughter. And I've honored him and respected his daughter since day one. Okay, and I'm gonna continue to do that until she get tired of me, ready to get the fuck out. You know, but I have a moral obligation, especially at this age in the game, not to be jumping around, keep getting married. I'm married 4 times. I'm not trying to get married 50, 60 more times, and I ain't trying to meet none of these young ass girls out here that look good as hell. You know what I mean? They do, sexy, pretty, content, all that shit. It looks all good and fine and dandy. But guess what? At the end of the day, I'm almost 60 years old. And these women, these young women, especially under 40, ain't looking for no damn love. They're looking for security. You know what I mean? And I'm already secure in the one I already got. Sometimes she's a headache, but obviously, I'm content with what I'm doing because I'm still married. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to tell you is I still hold people accountable, her included. You know what I mean? I'm not going to mistreat her. I'm going to hold her accountable. And if you get shook up, men or women, if you get shook up because your mate calls you out on your bullshit and then you want to, do stupid, that's on you. But some men still have character. Some men still have integrity and don't just walk out and leave people bleeding because they had a fucked up background. People don't do that. You know what I mean? And then some people still have love for people, even though they are pieces of shit, and they still try to reach out and help them. And then you bite the hand to feed you, and then you expect, to be business as usual, and you go on. But back to the church folk, I was want to say Bishop Green was the man that did it. That short last night, I always tell you, I'm not going to cuss your church folk out. I'm going to send Kojic material to you, reminding you from the men's of old on what they were seeing and what y'all still doing now. I don't know nothing bad about the Green family. All I know is I was a VIP member who carried a VIP card from Koji Videos, 1-800 Yes Lord, up in Newport News and in St. John's. And them people was nice to me every time I called. Sometimes I talked to Bishop Green on the phone. He would answer the phone sometimes. And that was back in the 90s. Sometimes he would answer the phone. I don't know if it was his daughter or who it was that was working in there answering the phone, but they've always been kind. A little assertive, going to tell you what the hell they mean and what they mean to say. But Bishop Samuel Green, he spoke the word, and he said, if the saints don't want to hear the truth, who gonna hear it? That's all I'm saying. So you can call me crazy, you can call me a troublemaker, whatever. Your own preachers is preaching this stuff, and y'all out too busy worrying about damage control instead of just speaking up and getting the noose loosened around your neck and calling out what is right and what's wrong, even if it's your family. So what? You're not obligated to kiss up to your family and nobody else when you're trying to do the right thing. Okay? And it doesn't matter the method in which you use to do it. You got to hold folks accountable in today's society. That's why the world is effed up now. When I was in school, kids wasn't beating up teachers. Teachers was beating your ass, and then your mama was getting, you can't tell me. I know. Because I used to get demonstrated. Back then, they used to let your parents come in and whoop your ass in front of the class. And it happened to me. And then you get another ass beat when you get home and your ass is all busted open and you got extension cords. And I'm not into all that excessive stuff, but if some of these women and some of these men that were in political situation would have not passed these laws about corporal punishment and ILC, I was in ILC, Isolation Learning Center, where they sit you in there all damn day and they walking you around like you in a juvenile detention. It's school though, but you be right down there in the front of the school in this room. It's a classroom, but it just you on display, and you in there looking stupid while everybody out on recess and eating and doing all this stuff. You in there doing work all damn day. And that was in Springfield City School, Franklin. They throw you in ILC and kick your ass out of school too. Then when I left there, went to Tecumseh, went to high school. They expel you. They don't give a damn. Back then they had good. I think they had before they built their new school, the Arrows, Tecumseh Arrows. Yeah. I'm trying to tell you what I know, man. Listen, y'all better start holding folks accountable. Temperature messed up. Temperature is messed up politically, especially. Wisdom on Wednesday, I'm telling you, and you men and women that are dealing this narcissistic, sadistic behavior, and then you transferring them generational curses on your offspring, man, you better wake the hell up. Go get you some professional help and do some screening on the people that's helping you, because you got doctors and stuff in here now that's manipulating shit, messing with records and giving people the wrong medicine on purpose by request of families. Yeah, you got people doing that. That stuff's real life. That stuff ain't just in the movies. I experienced it. I know what I'm talking about. You hear me? Wisdom on Wednesday. The way you deal with a narcissist and a sadistic person is you forcibly, listen to me, forcibly take away their power. You know what their power is? Attention. See, because narcissists and sadistic people, when they can't change the narrative, right, they'll try to control the emotion. If they can't control the emotion, then they'll try to control with silence. That's the big one. They do silence, or they'll say little things to trigger you to make you feel as though you need them. And then you got some psychologically, these psychiatrist folks out there that's real deep in the reading. They got something called crumbling. You got people that go out and they act like they care about you so much, or they desert you. This is generally speaking. And then they desert you, whether it's church, family, friends, homies, whatever. And then when they see you hurting, then they come back to your rescue like they really coming to save you, when they really come to celebrate a victory that they did again. Now they got you emotionally attached to them, to where you don't know, and they got you in a guessing game. And then when you in the guessing game, then you don't know how the person going to react emotionally, spiritually, physically. You don't know how they're going to do. And when the person has that kind of hold on you, that's control. That's narcissistic. That's sadistic. And then in the finale part, they cry victim and run on to another situation, thinking that situation is going to be better. But when they realize that they don't have that emotional dominance, then they try to run back. Oh, forgive me, I'm sorry. Men do it too. They play this game. Oh, I'll never cheat on you again. I'll never do it again. Oh, I won't beat your ass again. I won't steal your money again. I won't smoke no more dope. I won't blow your money up. Oh, I want to do better by the kids. Oh, I didn't mean to do it this time. I just snuck him in that time because you was in jail and I was lonely. And then as soon as they look in your phone and see a number they don't recognize, they're going upside your damn head. See what I'm talking about? But we don't hold them people accountable, because usually men that have a pattern, not a history, a pattern of being a woman beater, they seen their daddies do it. They seen their uncles do it. They seen their grandpas do it. And then next thing they know, they beating the woman's ass. And then the young ladies that watch the men beat their parents' ass, guess what happens? Then they think that's normal, and then they get their ass whooped and this and that. And then we don't hold them person accountable as doing all the ass whooping, right? Or the one that's misused. See, because one thing about it, I don't know about how you feel, but I'm going to tell you what changed my perspective. Because first, when I did, remember I was telling you after I stopped shot my first wife, she called me niggers and shit like that, and doing all kind of weird shit. You know what I mean? My children have never witnessed me doing any kind of violence to their mother. Never. I've never been a public drama disruptive type of person. I handle my problems in house. I always have been that type of person. I'm not the kind of person to go out and just be out loud, obnoxious out in public, carrying myself all kind of crazy kind of way. You know what I mean? When I'm in my home, I do what the hell I want to do. If I'm on like a channel, this is the disclaimers there. You're gonna get a lot of explicit information and different explicit, language and stuff like that. That's being courteous, letting you know, out of courteous and being, a human being, this is what it is. And if it's not for you, it doesn't mean you don't like me or you hate me. It's just not for your ear channel. But some people, they can handle that. Some people can't, and that's understandable, right? But this is just what I do, and I just found a way to do it, instead of doing it the violent way or going out, reaching out to old associates of old and doing stupid shit like I used to do. I just handle it this way, and then I leave a trail of truth unless I'm forced to make a call, and then I'll let the people that's necessary that watch be the person to take it to the next level, and then people can start reading. People watch lives now. You know what I mean? Institutions that they all watch lives. Church of God in Christ, they admit it. They watch people's lives. They know what the bloggers are doing. If they didn't know, they ain't getting third party information from their members. They watching it. That's how they know exactly what to say. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm telling you is, I do it this way because it's a way. Not only does it hold me accountable because I'm on live, right? And I'm telling you, and I'm using names, I'm using addresses, I'm using, different story modes. I'm doing it in different ways, different styles of delivery. One day I may be doing some music and some shorts for a week. Next few days I might come live and cuss a few folk out. I might confront a few folk, but that's just what I do. You know what I mean? But I'm doing it for free. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm getting paid. This is not a monetized page. This is nonprofit because I'm a servant of the people. And I'm first man to admit I couldn't fit into the box of the Church of God in Christ, Church of God, traditional religions platform where I'm in a robe and a collar and a cross and a ring and I'm tuning up and all this. I didn't fit into that box. You know what I mean? Because in my mind, I feel like I'm a human being, I'm a grown man, and what I do behind my privacy in my home is my business. People take that personal. So rather than be disruptive in a controlled setting, quote unquote, then I would rather leave and be real with myself and give you real, raw truth based on my experience and experiences of others based on facts. That's where I'm at with. You know what I mean? So I just want to be clear with that. Not that I'm, trying to backpedal. I don't need to backpedal because I'm on the edge because nothing is laid. Anything I talk about is factual. And I would go to court and raise my right hand if, subpoenaed to do so about a lot of this criminal and corrupt activity I be talking about. It's Wisdom on Wednesday. I'm just trying to enlighten you so that you can tighten the grip. Don't worry about the method on how people do things. Find your method. If cussing is not your method, then you need to find a method that works for you. This is the way that I handle and prune my stress levels. If I got to get on here and tell the truth and a few cuss words in there, and I got to call, a few people, a couple of names, there's, normal explicit names, nothing really degrading, nothing like that, then it is what it is, because you ain't talking to the comedians when they be up here laughing and joking, talking about people's mamas and grandmas and shit like that. When they on stage getting paid to do the shit, making fun of it, I'm giving you serious situation. Ain't nothing funny here, And there's nothing. If you do see some comedic shit, it maybe because you see it on the short. But if I'm on this live, I'm trying to pitch you up on some real game. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Gaining, advancing, and minimizing economical, and we can do all that. We can make up an acronym for the word gain. We ain't talking about no street shit. We talking about real shit. And that's what we need to be dealing with. We as people, we need to start dealing with real issues. And the real issues is that, we have done a lot of stuff in our lives. Some of us has learned and some of us not. Those have not learned, they don't deserve to be out here, keep going out trying to get passes, misusing folk, and then thinking that, they got all this time in the world to catch up and do better. Now, when you know better, do better. You ain't got time. You don't know how much time you got. I don't know how much time I got. We all on borrowed time. You hear me? You on borrowed time. You don't know when somebody gonna hit the button in a nuclear war. You don't know when the trumpet gonna sound. I'm giving to you both ways. Those that don't believe in the trumpet, the rapture, and this and that, then you don't know when one of these men gonna get in office that you elect, and they go up there and get crazy and push the damn nuclear button, and we all be blown up. Huh? You don't know. We on borrowed time. We on borrowed time, and the hourglass is still running sand. And we just sit back and look at the sand coming out the hourglass, thinking that we got all this extracurricular activity time to be sitting around playing games and manipulating, lying, and going there entertaining folks, sugarcoating shit. No, you need to tell people, listen, that's why these kids out here killing each other. Some of the people, these young men out here that's killing each other, don't even know what they killed another person for. All they know is their uncle was in the set, their mama was in the set, their granddaddy was in the set, and it's just business as usual. And then you get weird people that get in the sight shit, get in the middle of it, and then you got all these people killing each other and people getting paid. You got these young men and these young women, they work more dead than alive. Record labels got insurance policy on anything they don't, they're a liability. But guess what? They about to cut that up. You know what I mean? AI about to take over. We were talking about back when T.I. and all these guys was coming out mainstream in the talk box and all this and that. Everybody thought that was going to last forever. Oh, now we got AI. Can I just be transparent? Please? I mean, I appreciate the subscribers and things going up. And I appreciate the people that view. But I just like being honest when I talk. You know what I mean? I don't like making up stuff. At one time I used to have microphones and drop screens and all kind of stuff up. I'm not a blogger, man. This is a real conversation. We sit and we talk about stuff. I talk about stuff. And I do got people to do stuff to get my information for me now, which I'll be saying tea. I be getting folks to get my tea, my coffee, my damn Alka-Seltzer Plus and all that. I be having folks get my information now. Don't play no games with no think now. I'm very resourceful, especially with my name being back. I just use those resources to do things that I need to do. But I listen, if I wanted to do it, I can do it now if I wanted to. Yeah, I can be out here and probably be a number one blogger if I wanted to. One time I had a ghost person that was doing some financing for to do some stuff on the YouTube. I didn't, I had to eventually, cut that individual. No, I ain't gonna say cut them off because I'm still a good business acquaintance with that person. But I could have been doing a whole bunch of stuff. But for what? That's not helping the community. That's just building my bank account. You know what I mean? And I already got somebody, so I don't need to be worried about how to shake nobody down. And you click on me, and I'm not saying these other people do that. I'm just saying, I'm right here at 88 counties. I'm in this little small community. Why do I need to have this large platform here when I can do it here free, offer it to you free, and just give you the information you need? And then if you want to go to the high end version of it, then there's other people out here that got good commentary that do different things, and they're official bloggers and do that for a living. I don't do nothing for a living, but do what I'm supposed to do, and that's be a servant to the people. I mean? I'm retired. I done did my job. I wish the system was set up to where, I could full retirement because of sickness and different things like that. I had to quit, but I've been working since I was 13 years old, so I had the time in. I just couldn't draw all my money out. Sometimes God know how to slow you down, and sometimes, I feel like I was slowed down because I was living a reckless life, man. 20s? Oh God. 20. You go playing with me. When I first came back to Columbus, man, my nose was so wide open. My nose was open so daggone wide. I've always been a smart person, but I was trying to do so much shit. I always worked. You always had me a job, in a side gig on the side, whether it been DJing or, working a part-time job at night. I always try to keep me some money because, I always think about tomorrow. I've always been that kind of person. I don't wait till the last minute, and be thinking of ways, because your job ain't promised cheap. Anybody's ever known me, been in my home, I've always just tried to have a pleasant environment. Always cooking soul food, good food, homemade food. No box shit going on in my house. I ain't eating ramen noodles. You know, and I ain't got nothing against ramen noodles, but you can do a lot with ramen noodles. You know, if you in the gourmet cooking, and Oriental food or cuisine and different things like that. That's not me. I'm a soul food man. I cook up some shit with no problem from scratch, and you're gonna gain some damn weight real quick. If you think I'm playing, you better ask my wife, my current wife. When I met her, she was in size 10. I don't know what she is now, you know, but I like to put meat on women, because I'm a small dude and I be cold. And I was big at one time, but my frame is not built for a lot of weight. And a lot of medicine I was on had me swelling up, looking like I was, retaining water and shit. That just wasn't what was happening with me. I couldn't. I mean, really, I couldn't take it. It ended up messing my legs up real bad, my feet. I never had no ugly feet. I was just like pain. You know. Yeah, man. Listen, ain't that listen. You better do some preventive maintenance not only on your life but your body. Everybody walking around with all the gear and stinking. Somebody sent me some girl. When I say girl, no disrespect, but this young lady that follows me, she sent me something. She sent me something about some dude or something. She talking about yeah. He got a whole bunch of money, but I wanted to be intimate with him, and when I went to get with him, his underwear was standing. Soon as he took them off, you know how you take your clothes off real quick, you get the quickie on real quick, you take them underwear off and you throw them down and they up in the bed. As soon as you lay them down, the underwear stood right up, distinct. Cleanliness next to godliness. You ain't gotta be religious to be clean. Clean your body up. You know what I mean? Men, be careful. All that damn beef you eating. Yeah, you can go ahead and eat it if you want to. Y'all talking about you don't want to eat swine, but don't eat it then. Eat some other kind of meat. Get some fish. Leave that beef the hell alone. And when I eat beef, I eat processed beef. Now, I don't put my doctor told me, the urologist told me, oncologist told me, oncologist told me, my damn primary care told me, hey, don't be eating a whole bunch of beef, especially if you're a man of African American or black. You black man, leave that goddamn beef alone. Beef take longer to process. I know you Southern men like a lot of beef. Y'all eating all that brisket and y'all eating a whole bunch of that damn steak and big ass tomahawk steaks. And, you ballers out there, hey, money bag, yo, start doing some. If you still got that restaurant down there, you better start getting rid of that beef out there and start get some pork in there. All you got to do is clean it. If you really soul food cooker, you ain't parable and shit. All you got to do is get some salt, put some salt on that meat, let that meat sit for a minute. You know what I mean? Rinse it off, wash it real good, then do it. You don't do that. Because you don't want to parboil it. You parboiling all this meat, you taking the flavor out the meat. And y'all talking about y'all thinking y'all really putting flavor to the meat and all this. Y'all can't cook. Hear me? You parboiling meat and parboiling ribs and shit. Going somewhere with that. Nobody doing that. They cook your damn food. Learn how to slow cook and real cook. You can do it on if you're a good cook. And you're an effective cook, you can cook anywhere and wherever you got the proper equipment, and you don't even need proper equipment. All you need is basic essentials. Okay, so that's a little nugget for you today. Okay, take care of yourself. Man, ain't nothing wrong with now. Some don't, but agree with it. But one thing I will say, and I've been married 4 times, but each wife I was married to, I learned something different. A different lifestyle, different characteristics, a different something that maybe they like to do, maybe or a young lady I wasn't married to, open my eyes to some different things I never tried. Now, my palate is set. I ain't trying nothing crazy. You ain't going to find me a 5-star, 4-star bread. That's just not my palate. I like soul food. I don't want no high-end soul food. I want some good, from the gutter, from the mud, soul food. If I go to Memphis, back in the day when I used to go to Shoney's a lot down in there. And Shoney's used to have some good ass. The buffet down there, man, has some good food. I'm talking about good food, catfish. And I don't even eat catfish. I like catfish nuggets, but I don't really eat catfish. But man, you talking about good food in there? Yeah. A lot of people don't like lima beans. You get you some lima beans. Matter of fact, I just made some the other day. I made some lima beans the other day. Yeah, my wife don't like lima beans or like that. My wife like they Great Northern and them damn pinto beans. You know what I mean? and she like ham hock. I don't eat a lot of salt, but ham hock got a lot of salt. And I don't like pear boiling meat, but I boil them ham hocks for a while, and then drain them and then do them again, almost like chitlins, because that ham hock, that salt be so deep in that damn meat, and you be, you know, I just don't do it. I just don't, and everything like that. But cooking, oh yeah, ooh lord, you know, and I come up from cooks on both sides of my family, all sides really. I don't know about the fan bro, but I know my mama, my birth mama, could cook her ass off back in the day when I was growing up. I don't know what the hell she giving them kids now because they turned out. I don't know what's going on with them. She don't cook like she used to. But man, Jared, man, Mary Lou, my Uncle Donnie could cook. No, could he cook? I don't know. My Uncle Ed, he was a baker. You talking about bake? What? God, I'm not a baker. I can't even bake box cookies. I can't. Yeah. My wife was a baker. Yeah. We first got married, she used to bake me cookies all the time. Holiday, man, woman make me bake me some sugar cookies. I love sugar cookies. Yeah. And my wife make me some sugar cookies, man. And I eat them cookies, man. I be eating them, and I always drink coffee. And let me tell you how when I be talking about when you meet people and then you do different stuff. Now, anybody ever knew me? I never drank Mountain Dew. I didn't really. Yeah, that's not even. I'm not a racist, but that's not even a black person drink. Most men that are married to white women or date white women either drinking Mountain Dew or they drinking some damn Dr Pepper, some shit like that. I'm just being real. They do. You know, a lot of black guys that do. It doesn't matter if you thug as rugged as bone or what you are. When you with that woman in her house and she buying groceries or that's one of her assignments. That's why I like to call them assignments or chores, whatever. When you go to the grocery store, you just get what you pay.